Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me even in the back there? Wave your hand if you can hear me in the back. Okay, there we go. Well, thank you for coming. My name is J.P. Lake, and I'm the executive director of this organization called Peace Pre-K, but I am a member of the Kern Coalition, along with Kern CCD, the Kern Inyo and Mono County Central Labor Council, Community Action Partnership of Kern, and also Building Healthy Communities of Kern. Tonight is our community engagement meeting, and just a few items logistically before we get started. There is some cold water with ice over there on the side, and there's also bottled water here in the back, as well as hand sanitizers. I believe restrooms are back that way, and to my left, your right, if you need a restroom. And of course, exits here and also there in the event of an emergency. We could have the next slide, please. So I want to tell you about the purpose of today's meeting and the format. So today we're here to talk about the CERF grant. And the CERF grant values equity in all communities, and bringing the community together is a vital way as we co-plan to bring high-quality jobs to Kern County. We are in the planning phase of this process and collecting information from you to do this work together. Today, we're going to explain what the planning phase is, and then we're going to spend time in conversation with you because we value your feedback and we want you to be part of this vision for implementing shared prosperity for all. And I'd now like to introduce Norma Rojas.
Thank you. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Norma Rojas Mora y estoy aquí esta tarde representando a la Kern Coalition para hablarles acerca de un nuevo programa que queremos implementar en todo el condado de Kern. La coalición está representada de 5 organizaciones, incluyendo el Kern Community College District, el AFL-CIO o el Kern Inyo Mono Central Labor Council, E3K Prosperity, Community Action Partnership of Kern, y Building Healthy Communities. Pero el propósito real de la junta de hoy es acerca de una oportunidad que tenemos, es la subvención CERF, que valera equidad para las comunidades y quiere ayudar a traer trabajos que pagan bien al condado de Kern. En el momento actual están en el proceso de colectar información y comentarios de la comunidad. Así que estamos muy gustosos de que estén aquí para representar y dar voz a eso. Hoy vamos a explicar el proceso que estamos llevando a cabo y después vamos a tomar tiempo con ustedes para escuchar sus comentarios y también para que respondan a algunas preguntas que tenemos.
So the planning grant is an application that we need to put together and submit July 25th, so just 2 weeks from today. And this CERF planning grant is part of a Senate bill passed by the California legislature, and it was Senate Bill 162. It authorizes up to $5 million per region. In our case, that's Kern County, just for planning and getting community feedback like we're doing tonight in order to help create quality jobs. The planning grant includes a fiscal agent, a regional convener or conveners, and coordinators who will work on the following: produce a robust regional economic development plan, create an inclusive planning table, strengthening collaboration, including evidence-based strategies, and ensuring the participation of diverse stakeholder groups. The notification of the award for the planning grant will occur sometime in early October.
Actualmente estamos en el proceso de planificación de la subvención CERF. El día para entregar nuestra aplicación es el 25 de julio. Fue autorizado por ley, la ley SD 162, hasta $5 millones para la planificación para el condado de Kern. Las subvenciones de planificación incluyen a un agente fiscal, un organizador regional y coordinadores que van a estar trabajando en lo siguiente. Un plan de desarrollo económico regional, van a crear una tabla de inclusividad para la planificación. Vamos a incluir estrategias basadas en pruebas que ya han sido, que han estado sostenidas. Y vamos a asegurar que hay participación de grupos diversos de cada comunidad.
Upon notification of receiving the planning grant in October, we will form a Kern High Road Transition Collaborative, which is the entity that will develop a regional economic recovery and transition plan that addresses essential elements of a high road strategy. The sub-regional and inter-regional plan will be co-developed with diverse stakeholders, from visioning to analysis to strategy and roadmap creation. An informal collective partnership agreement letter will be designed to support this process. And in terms of a definition here, a high road strategy, following along at the bottom left, is a set of economic and workforce development strategies to achieve economic growth and equity, shared prosperity, and a clean environment.
La colaboración de transición por la carretera alta de Kern desarrollará un plan regional de recuperación económica y transición que aborda los elementos esenciales de una estrategia de alta carretera. Los planes regionales trabajarán junto con grupos diversos para crear estrategias para esta subvención. La carta de convenio colectivo está diseñada para apoyar este proceso. Para darles más contenido, la estrategia de alta carretera quiere decir que es un conjunto de estrategias económicas y de desarrollo de la mano de obra para lograr el crecimiento económico y la equidad, la prosperidad compartida y un medio ambiente limpio. La Carta de Convenio Colectivo es un acuerdo informal entre la colaboración de transición por la carretera alta de Kern y principales de partes interesadas.
So we're almost done here with the presentation, and most of the rest of the evening is going to be discussion at your tables. We have several facilitators that will be coming to your table, and we've got some questions that we want to hear your feedback on. And these are just some of the questions that we have. I'm not going to go through them now. We'll be doing that in just a few minutes. And for those of you that are online, you'll have the ability to participate and submit your questions as well on the Jamboard.
Ahora vamos a entrar en una fase donde vamos a hacerles un par de preguntas. Ustedes van a tener la oportunidad de responder y darnos sus ideas y dar voz a lo que ustedes piensan puede ayudar a sus comunidades. Para las personas que están en línea también van a poder participar por medio de Zoom en las preguntas que van a aparecer ahí. Pero en realidad ya no concluimos la presentación para realmente poder escuchar acerca de lo que ustedes piensan que es lo mejor para sus comunidades.
And then after our meeting tonight, you'll still be able to find us and submit other questions or get involved if you'd like. And you can do that by going online. It's in the yellow box there at the bottom of the page to kccd.edu/CERF, or you can always send us an email at kernsurf@kccd.edu. And the information you see on the page just describes the partnership that's come together to form this Kern coalition.
Después de la presentación de hoy, de todas maneras tendrán la oportunidad de hacer preguntas o de darnos sus ideas. Eso lo pueden hacer visitando el sitio kccd.edu/surf, o también pueden someter sus comentarios a kernsurf@kccd.edu, y esta información está en los papeles que tienen al frente. Este proceso no se termina con esta noche, Si hay algo que se les olvida hoy o tienen otra idea, de todas maneras, hay manera de participar y darnos sus ideas.
We will be having additional meetings like this one, so again, another way to participate. If you want to come to a future meeting, you're certainly welcome to. We will also have weekly updates Tuesdays at 12 p.m. and you can register for those from the website that we just mentioned. We also will be doing community meetings like this one in other parts of the county. The next one is actually going to be this Thursday at Delano. Didn't get that updated here on the slide. But again, you'll find the full information for how to attend and register for that. And you're also welcome to attend online. We do have people that are watching here online tonight as well. You know, they could be here at Taft. So there's many ways to engage.
Habrá más juntas de participación para la comunidad. Aparte de eso, cada martes a mediodía estamos dando actualizaciones sobre CERF por manera virtual. Se pueden entrar al Zoom para poder asistir a esas juntas todos los martes a mediodía. Aparte de eso, tendremos más juntas comunitarias como esta. La siguiente va a ser en la ciudad de Delano, para también ahí poder proveer esta misma información. Puede participar de distintas maneras, no solo en persona, sino también en cada junta vamos a tener un enlace de Zoom para que puedan participar virtualmente.
Okay, at this time, if my facilitators could stand and just wave to everybody. So we have 3 people here. They're going to spread out, and then Norma and I will also be coming and sitting at the table, and we're going to go through those discussion questions at this time. All right.
Tenemos personas que van a servir como sus facilitadores. Vamos a estar en la mesa haciendo las preguntas y tomando notas acerca de la información que tienen para nosotros. Sé que Daniel y Yanni se comprometió en ayudarnos, así que creo que nosotros somos los únicos que hablamos español, que nos vamos a compartir el grupo.
Hey everybody, this is Earl Parsons here. I hope you can hear me okay. We're here live at Taft College. I think people are just talking. If you look in your chat, you can find some questions in the Jamboard. So if you want to take a look at those, I'm going to go ahead and share screen on our Jamboard. So how it works, you just go to that link and you can select that sticky tab over there that you see. And just answer the first question. My apologies. Okay, my apologies. Let me figure out what's going on here. I would like to go to just a second. I'm gonna get through some technical difficulties here, you all. Okay. Yeah, that was it. There we go. How's everybody doing today? You can also welcome to answer the questions in the chat, but I'll go ahead and share the Jamboard. All right, so our first question, what does a good job mean to you? If you can go ahead, I'm gonna hover over it. You can push that sticky note there and put in something. I think a good job, family sustaining wages. I'll go ahead and put that in. Yeah, family sustaining wages and benefits. Yeah, see how I put that in there? Yeah, and the tricky thing about the Jamboard is it'll just populate in the same area every time. So you'll end up with some Jamboards that are stacked. So you can go ahead and just wiggle those around. Yeah, keep it coming. Someone put in wages that enable employees to support their family's needs. I thought that was interesting. Someone said job that can earn a living wage. That is a wage where a family can meet their expenses. Should also include medical and retirement wages. Thank you. Do we have any other responses? A job that comes with benefits, of course. More than just minimum wage. Agreed. Oh, let me move that around. We all have too much power here. Let me bring this in a little bit for y'all. Oh, whatever. That's fine. Upward mobility. Yeah, I think opportunities for advancement is probably a big part of this, right? Is you're not just stuck in the same position, you actually have an opportunity to grow with the company. I think that's definitely a big part of it. Okay, I think we're gonna move on to our second question. Provide some stimulation. I like that. Yes, yeah, we're good here. JP's right here. What's up, JP? Everybody can hear you. What's up? Yeah, so we're gonna go to the second question. I'm gonna go ahead and move over. What job sectors do you think will provide the most opportunities? So yeah, just list the areas somewhere, like as it pertains to Kern. You know, I think a couple things come to the surface for me, but I'm not gonna lead you guys. I'll let you answer for yourselves. So yeah, what kind of job sectors do you think provide the most opportunities to bring those high-paying, good-wage jobs? And my apologies about the lighting here. Green and sustainable, okay. Yeah, that's like types of jobs, green and sustainable. I'll go ahead and say, oh, we have a comment in the chat. Alternative climate friendly energy jobs. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the Jamboard. Thank you, Vincent. I'm gonna go boop, and then we go boop. Here we go, healthcare field. That's a good response. Technology. So yeah, we have the healthcare field, we got the technology sector. Any other sectors like areas of employment, education, automation skills. It's interesting you bring up automation. I work for Bakersfield College. We have a bachelor's degree in industrial automation. So for the cost of a community college education, you can get a degree and a job that will guarantee you like a $70,000 plus a year salary. Ooh, we got more in the chat. STEM. STEM is huge. I think we need the diversity in STEM is a big issue, right? So we'll go to the STEM area. Thank you. And then we're gonna go precision agriculture jobs. Thank you, Armin, for STEM. Thank you, Vincent, for precision agriculture jobs. Boop. There we go. Yeah, so we'll just move these around on the sticky notes. So I think if everybody's ready, you can move on to the next Jamboard if we don't have any objections. The next question. Go ahead and move on. What businesses or organizations would you like to see in your community? Why? Take some time to explain that. So like what business or organizations would you like to see? It seems like it's similar to the other question, but I think it's a little more specific to the exact type of businesses that people are really looking for. Yeah, what companies would provide opportunities for education and training and homegrown jobs. Because I think that's a big part of that. We'll get into that when we talk about barriers a little later, but brain drain is a big problem in Kern County. We get a lot of really talented, educated people go and leave and for greener pastures. And we need to figure out a way we can keep our talent homegrown and expand our economy into something that's 21st century and post-industrial. Healthcare. What are some examples of tech companies that are healthcare organizations that you think provide high wage jobs in the area, or what are ones we don't have? I think obviously we need a veteran center. Our congressman has been trying to push for that for years. We need our own VA so that veterans don't have to drive to LA to receive care, and there's an economic incentive there too. Google, thank you for the update. Yeah, let's get Google here. I agree. Hospital, yeah, just a hospital. Kaiser, okay. I know I tend to, it's because Kaiser is great in major cities, but I think here, elderly care in Taft, that's a big priority. Have a big elderly population. And medical in rural areas like Taft. I don't know. I don't live in Taft. I don't know a lot about Taft. I don't know what some of what the hospitals are like here, or whether you have to drive to Bakersfield to receive care. So those are obviously areas that need attention. And yeah, like in the healthcare, there's so many opportunities to develop a homegrown workforce, because what we're doing now in the hospitals, where we're hiring people from out of state, out of the country, and paying them double wages. There is no hospital in Taft. Thank you. I probably won't leave this on the Jamboard, but that was helpful for my clarification, so I appreciate that. So yeah, elderly care in Taft. I know we need rural hospitals. We need rural healthcare. I think that's huge, rural healthcare. So yeah. Any other suggestions we have? Types of companies, we got healthcare tech. I'm going to go ahead and throw one in for y'all. Companies like Cargill, purchasing, trading, distribution, exporting. I think that distribution is an area where we can grow. The problem with distribution is some of those jobs aren't necessarily high wage. So what can we do to create like automation and some of the degrees that are higher wage that can sustain families? Construction companies is huge. There's so much growth in Bakersfield right now with construction. So we put construction companies in here, sustainability, green companies, alternative energy. That's definitely a big part of this initiative is transitioning into alternative energy. There's so much opportunity with expanding the microgrids and electrical charging stations. I think we look like we're in a good spot. I'll go ahead and help y'all out. Okay, so let's go ahead, move forward. What are some barriers that you've observed that people report in not being able to find a job? What are some of those barriers that people have? What's keeping people from being able to find high wage jobs in Kern County? One thing I don't think is a barrier in terms of the labor market is cost of living. I think Bakersfield is one of the best in the state for that, and we're going to continue to grow. But what are some other barriers that for people living here, that grow up here, that they have to not being able to find the job that fulfills them? Accessibility to training and education required for high wage positions. We have lack of high paying jobs in Kern County. Oh, we got one in the chat. Most people don't have work experience or education in the fields. Yeah, I think yeah, looking how we can provide for our farm workers is very important, right? Yeah, like there's a lot of organizations that are doing good work with education, workforce development, CTE, like field. What can we do to expand that? Right. Not having an in. Oh, like you mean like kind of things get competitive, nepotism, and that's what you're saying, right? Like not having an in, meaning brain drain. We brought up brain drain also earlier, but by not having an in, meaning that you have to know people to get into certain circles and things like that, right? Someone says salaries are not competitive. High skills and high trained individuals can make a lot more elsewhere. Yeah, and I think there's got to be some give and take between the low cost of living we enjoy here, and then making salaries that are more competitive. So yeah, what do we have in the chat? Oh, Vincent says when it comes to technology like geospatial drone technology, jobs is the lack of training and education at the college level. Many employers are hiring from outside of Kern County. Yeah, like let's get some college programs here at Taft College. Let's get some programs at Bakersfield College that can teach those things. That's huge. I want to put that on there. Thank you, Vincent. Appreciate that. What are some barriers specific to Taft if we have our Taft people in the chat? Because we are focusing on Taft today. I think this is kind of the most important question of the 7 that we're going to ask here today. So yeah, spend some time here. Location to other markets. Yeah, yeah, our proximity to being able to expand. Companies ask about our education rates and ours are low. Companies overlook our region because they will have to look outside of Kern to fulfill their management and higher positions. So yeah, like let's taking those people in the fields, for example, who don't have access to education. How can we support them? What kind of services and wraparound supports can we provide to people in school so that they have what it takes? Because speaking as a first generation student myself, yeah, I didn't know what I needed to know to make it through school, and there was a lot of trial and error. And yeah, like what can we do to support people? Males are not coming to college in the same number of females. Yeah, I think, and you know, not everyone needs. Some people might hang me for this, but not everyone needs necessarily a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. You can get a certificate or a program in a career and technical education that that would be more appealing to someone with a more like tactile sense of how they want to work. They want to work with their hands. Male's not getting any college education. That's another point. Yeah. And I think it doesn't need to be a bachelor's degree. It can be something else, right? It can be a lot of things. So I think we're ready to move on from that. Let's go to number 5. Thank you all. That was great. What can your community offer that will be beneficial to job creation? What can we do as a community, government? What kind of services, what kind of support can we provide for those people in the fields, for people, first generation students, people who don't have an in, like we talked about? What would be beneficial to job creation? And what would incentivize employers to want to open up the availability of good paying jobs here? Any responses you have? I'm going to double check chat here real quick. Affordable housing. Yeah. What can we do? Vouchers. A lot of people don't want to, a lot of businesses don't want to provide affordable housing or live next to affordable housing. And there's barriers in terms of legislative policy, to facilitating a lot of that work. Yeah. So yeah, affordable housing is a good one. Inspire an entrepreneurial spirit, and confidence that they can succeed. Yeah, when it comes to entrepreneurship, the current community college district is engaged in a coalition called the Launchpad. It's the Launchpad is at our district office downtown. If you're an aspiring small business owner, if you're looking for those tools you need maybe some legal advice, you want to start a LLC, you need to rent a projector to show your project or what you're working on to other venture capital or whatever. We have those tools for you. So what?
You see anyone waiting to be let in?
No, everyone's here. Yeah. There's an invitation from KCCD that would be the one to forward. Yeah. Transportation and childcare. Thanks, Dee. That would be a good one. I agree. Transportation and childcare. As someone who grew up taking Golden Empire Transit for most of my life, it's not adequate. And you know, what can we do to incentivize bus vouchers, like micro transportation? I think it's a huge opportunity. You see those bird scooters and stuff downtown. How can we partner with Get to put those in next to bus stops and things? Because sometimes you'll have to walk 1.5 miles or more between bus stops to get to your house, depending on where you live. So yeah, how can we get that can support people with that last mile of transportation and childcare? At the colleges, a lot of the childcare programs are impacted severely, right? Oh, thank you. So what can we do to expand the child development centers at the colleges? Create a link between current employers and students to guarantee them 1 year of employment upon graduation. I think there's a lot of partnerships like that in the industrial automation space. We're doing at Bakersfield College, right? Pardon me. But yeah, like what can, because the employers need the students as well. So how can we collaborate more? I think advisory councils are great. I know at Bakersfield College, we're doing a partnership with Greater Bakersfield New Car Dealers Association, where we'll be training people on automotive, and it'll transition into jobs doing upkeep at the dealerships. So that's an awesome program. Vincent says the community high road training jobs like electric gig, robotics, automation, aviation, geospatial, drone, imagery, etc. need, in addition to the community college workforce development, employers need to provide paid internships and internships. Yeah. Again, I'll speak from anecdotal experience, but my background is in journalism. That's what I went to school for. And basically, you can't break into that industry without taking an unpaid internship. And yeah, that's a barrier. Expanding and beyond BC and other areas in Bakersfield, rural areas need the assistance. Yeah, I agree. Arvin, Delano, Taft, places like Taft, they need the assistance too. So yeah, and my apologies for being a bit myopic on this, because I can mostly speak to what we're doing in Bakersfield. My apologies. City and county officials can be more supportive of businesses via permitting, tax incentive, codes enforcement. Yeah, that's a great thing. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Thank you. Yeah. So city and county officials can be more supportive. Yeah, just managing regulatory and legislative hurdles to ease those barriers. I'm going to go to our last question here, since we're kind of running out of time. You guys have been great. Thank y'all so much. What other activities do you recommend to increase participation from your community? So what other how can we get people excited about what we're doing as Community Economic Resilience Fund and the financial opportunities that are going to come. How can we get people engaged and join the conversation about what an equitable strategy for workforce development and economic development in Kern can look like? So get the chambers of commerce involved. I know they're the Hispanic chamber, the Black chamber in Kern are heavily involved with CERF, and some of the rural chambers are definitely participating in the process. And yeah, that's where we facilitate that, right? Is they have the access to the businesses and the employers and can really get people excited about some of these opportunities that are going to be coming. More community outreach, talking with parents about options for their children, for sure. That's part of why we're pursuing our update schedule very rigorously here with the CERF team. We want to get all throughout Kern County. We want to hear it from everyone. And then, yeah, parents really need to come out. We had a good turnout of parents in Cottonwood recently. We were at the Friendship House in South Bakersfield, and we had a lot of parents that were interested in the program. So work closely with neighborhood leaders. People trust them and will come out when invited by whom they trust. So yeah, that is those community messengers, the nonprofit organizations, the people providing food, providing support for families that are struggling. Let's get those people, those organizations to recruit people from rural communities and what we're calling disinvested communities through the CERF process to matriculate into the colleges and everywhere. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, those trusted community messengers. And we're working with a lot of organizations that are doing good work in the community and that are dedicated to those groups that we've left behind in the past and that aren't included in the conversation. Continue to offer outreach in multiple languages. Yeah, I think, and I apologize for not having our Spanish translator here. Last time we had Reina doing stuff in Spanish and English, but having the slides in Spanish and English is helpful. Tagalog, we have a big Filipino community. Getting this information out there would be crucial. And some of the other indigenous communities who have their own languages. So do we have any more responses for our last question here? Activities we recommend to increase participation. Oh, we got one in the chat. Okay, this is Vincent again. He says, I recommend annual regional economic development symposiums that highlight high road technology jobs and college career pathways that unite employers, students, workers, and academia government. The event could be half day, all day. It should be affordable to all. Yeah, free, preferably. I think that's a good point. Yeah, having more convenings and getting into a place where we can have these conversations and not just on Zoom, like in your homes and the families that aren't going to be on Zoom right now that really need to know about this stuff, you know? Oh, you can see it. Okay, so when you click it in, you can see the full comment. But yeah, that's a good one, Vincent. Thank you. So it looks like we've got through it. Do you have any other questions? Feel free to submit questions in the chat you might have. Continue offer both in person and Zoom so more people can participate. Yeah. So yeah, like creating that flexible environment and maximizing the participation. We have a good turnout here in person, but you know, we have about 13 of you today here that are active and that are involved and that are making great suggestions. So yeah, we definitely want to keep that going. If you have any questions that we didn't get to, you can feel free to put those in the chat. We also have an email. I'm going to put that in here. That is kernsurf@kccd.edu. If there's some questions you have that I'm not going to be able to answer, or just you want to find out how you can participate. So let me do that real quick. Oh, we had a couple more. college needs to do more outreach about our programs. Yeah, I think I could speak to Bakersfield College. We have so many awesome programs. People have no idea. Like if more people, I tell everybody about the industrial automation thing. And yeah, the more people we can get in that programs, the more we can do. I agree. It's been amazing. If we have more employers participate in advisory committees at the colleges. Yeah, we brought that up. We have a pretty active group of like 30 or 40 orgs that are in the industrial automation. We've developed a healthcare pathways workforce development thing here at Bakersfield College, where it's with Dignity and Adventist and Clinica and Kern Medical and the nursing departments at BC and Cal State Bakersfield working together to figure out how we can expand clinical placements and get more homegrown nurses and doctors into the hospitals and in our clinics. So if there's any more that I missed, I don't think so. Would anyone like to if you let me know in our Zoom chat if there's any more, if you'd like to go back to some of these responses? I may just review. Okay.
We'll do report outs so you can let them know.
Yeah, sounds good.
Here, report outs, otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Let's go through this. We're going to be wrapping up in 5 minutes. I'm just going to go through the questions again. So, what does a good job mean to you? I'll give us 30 seconds to a minute if you want to add more to there. Okay. Let's go to the second one. What job sectors do you think will provide the most opportunities? Oh, here we go. A job that allows worker wisdom. I like that, worker wisdom. Yeah, like applied knowledge. Like you're not just an automaton. Yeah, you're a fully developed person. I like that. Give a couple more seconds for that one if anyone has anything. Oh, job that allows worker wisdom. I'll put that in the first one. Go back. Boop. 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 Hey. Let's go to number 3. What businesses, organizations would you like to see in your community, and why? What type of businesses? Okay. Give a couple more seconds here. Excuse me. What barriers have you observed that people report in not finding a job?
Get back on the mic.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and close it up. I'm going to switch over. Let's go. Okay. Thanks, y'all. Thank you for.
Okay, we're gonna come back together here. We don't need to skedaddle if you don't want, but we're just gonna have each table share just 1 or 2 highlights. And we'll start at the back of the room, back here. If everyone else could just direct your attention to the back and our table at the back, they're just going to share just 1 or 2 things like that seem to generate the most vibrant discussion, hopefully positive things. Yes, that's a good idea. We'll just take the mic around to our people online and also here. Actually, Earl's bringing second mic. Let's see how that works.
Good afternoon, everybody. We had an incredibly beneficial conversation here in the back left corner. One of the conversation topics that garnered a lot of really good conversation was the topic around what precious resource can Taft offer to bring in investments. What does Taft offer that would be beneficial to job creation? We discussed a little bit about how Taft has an abundance of land, which would be very suitable to help leverage investments using the CERF funding to bring in other businesses, organizations. We talked about how, especially in rural communities, there's a need for an increase in technology resources to help connect community members, help entice them and inspire them to want to pursue jobs. We had an incredibly beneficial conversation. Let me choose another point here. What job sectors do you think will provide more opportunities? Health, education, entrepreneurship, especially as I just mentioned, leveraging land and resources that Taft currently has to offer to bring in those jobs.
Right, I'm going to come to this table here and have Rob and report out.
Well, ditto on some of those things, but we really looked at, there was a really good conversation on what Taft has for attraction, and one of those things is a really strong educational pipeline. You're in it right now this evening, a really good college that would be available for the career pipeline, and we talked a lot about the fact that this community is a safe community. So cost of living is good here, and so that's an attraction. We talked about, again, some of those businesses that we think will still be the best job opportunities. Healthcare was one. Energy will continue to be very, very much a driving force as technology changes in the energy industry. That will still be a part of what's available. And then we also talked about some agriculture as ag kind of came closer to Taft and having the opportunities for jobs in agriculture. And then we did talk about a couple of things with what would do well here and what would be that attraction. And the one thing that we talked about was some gaps. So I think that really the positives really outweigh some of the gaps, which I think is really good for the community. But there's definitely work to be done.
With the back table.
So, talk a little bit about number one, the answers that were provided. You know, what does a good job mean to you? And some of the sentiment was, as farm workers, we would like jobs that actually pay holidays when we work, better roads. We think distance is an issue sometimes. So when we're driving to work and roads are not well kept, that could be a burden. Health benefits that cover us as employees and our dependents would be great. And also wages that are up to par with the increased cost of living would be amazing. Let's see what else. Another question was, what businesses, organizations would you like to see in your community and why? An organization that trains people to learn new trades, a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for those seeking to pursue entrepreneurial projects, more businesses that offer food, clothes, shoes, and other options in Taft, and businesses that are geared towards the promotion of arts and culture. So these are two things that they do.
Great work at that table back there, and it's the hot potato up here.
At our table, we had somebody that was really well versed in the community. So I'd like to kind of report on some of the things that you shared with us, which included fair wages, a balance of workload
Some of the questions we had, that had asked us was one of the, some of the resources that we here in Taft were, in this local, we all work in the agriculture, area. So one of the big things here that we need for us is a bigger supermarket. Like I don't know, you used to be Guayata. Most of us, foods are, they're crazy, kind of high up here. So due to the wages out here in the agriculture, that you don't get paid more than minimum wage. It's $15 an hour, and it's 40 hours a week. And sometimes right now in the summer, we work 5 or 6 hours each day. It just depends on the temperature. So, I think a bigger store with less expense will be better. One of the other things were safety. There's been a lot of robberies, a lot of car stolen, and just breaking and entering the houses. So I know it's a big thing, but I mean they just get out and then start doing it again. So that's one of the things that we in our community need: safety and what else? Sorry, it's not kind of my first time. The first time is oh yeah. So like I was mentioning, the table we have Mexico. We have a lot of opportunities as well, but as you know, they're not well paid as it is here. There's a lot of members that we have in the community that are skillful, with construction, mechanics, and computers and all that. But in Mexico they have a degree, but here they're not able to use that degree because certain status. But if we were able to get a center that trains other members from our members, that we could have a lot to prove and they have a lot to learn and they can share those skills with everybody else and help them as well to make help the members as well.
So we talked about the things to celebrate here in Taft, the hardworking, bootstrap type of a mentality that is Taft is known for. The fact that there's a quality education system here, affordable, but there is a need for more technical education, more hands-on, skills-based learning. We talked a lot about the energy industry and the opportunity, I think, to maybe inform and to capitalize on the amazing technological advancements that are being made in the energy industry. And how do we lift that up to people that will listen? I think it's something that came through out of prayer. And many of the same things that you all talked about as well.
All right, thank you, everybody. Give yourselves a round of applause. So I'm just going to share a couple from our folks online. We have 14 or 15 people online, and Earl's going to help me advance slides as I pick one or two. So they also talked about what does a good job mean. I see job that comes with benefits, upward mobility, job that allows a worker to gain wisdom. I like some of that one. So some good stuff there. The next question, they talked about job sectors, health came up, technology, also heard that. What about automation skills? More and more technology coming even in farming, learning how to work with robotics and things like that, especially energy as well. Lots of technology and automation going on there. Green and sustainable. Next question. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. Thank you. What businesses or organizations would you like to see in the community and why? Someone's aiming high for Google. Why don't we get Google to be here? Cargill, there's an ag company for purchasing, trading, distributing, and exporting. Hospital up here. Elderly care in town. Interesting. Construction, Kaiser. So some good suggestions there. Let's go to the next slide. What barriers have you observed that people report in not finding a job? So I see not having experience or education in the fields, accessibility training and education for high-wage positions. Then someone said when it comes to technology like geospatial and drones, technology jobs, lack of training and education at the college level. Many employers are hiring from outside of Kirk County. Interesting one there. And salaries, heard that in the room here as well, you know, especially with the rising costs and inflation. Okay, let's keep going. What can your community offer that will be beneficial to job creation? Affordable housing. City and county officials be more supportive of businesses, permits, tax incentives, code enforcement, etc. Inspire an entrepreneurial spirit, confidence that they can succeed. Transportation, childcare, electric grid improvements, robotics, aviation. Good stuff. And we got 2 more. Whoa, it's almost a workers' comp thing right there. That's a near miss if we're in the oil fields or anywhere else, right? So, what other activities do you recommend to increase participation from your community? Work closely with neighborhood leaders. People trust them will come out when invited by those whom they trust. Multiple ongoing scheduled meetings at various time frames. College needs to do more outreach about our programs. Someone said, how about an annual regional economic development symposium? There you go. Continue to offer outreach in multiple languages, absolutely. Have more employers participate in advisory committees at the colleges. So some good ideas. And then our last one, yes, that was it. So, Norma, I don't know if you want to also help wrap us up in Espanol, por favor. Well, that concludes our meeting. You are welcome. If anyone at your tables, I know the table at the back, you guys still wanted to keep talking, you're welcome to stay. Again, we've got waters, restrooms. For those of you online, thank you for joining us this evening. Again, the next meeting is Thursday in Delano. You'll also be able to participate online. And there'll be some more meetings next week, probably more out of Eastern. We're working on those now, and we'll give you no announcements about those. Also, if you did not have a chance to sign the sign-in sheet, we'd love to get your information so that you can continue to get updates. And it's really just so we can track participation and make sure we're able to communicate with you. And that's it. I'll have Norma just close out the evening.
Simplemente queremos darles las gracias otra vez por estar con nosotros y por participar. Va a haber más oportunidades de participación, como ya les hemos dicho. Tenemos las juntas que van a estar en línea también, vamos a estar en línea el jueves. Y vamos a tener más juntas en el área de arte y mamá. Así que si tienen compañeros en esas áreas, por favor, avísenles para que también tengan voz. Les queremos agradecer estar aquí con nosotros esta tarde y si quieren quedarse a platicar más, bienvenidos. Aquí vamos a estar un rato más, pero muchas gracias por su participación.